welcome once again to the Tony Trades live stream. Super excited to be here, guys. It's the 5th of May, Tuesday, 2026. And today's stream is going to be about easy money. Is it a trap? Is it not a trap? What is happening with the market? Is it so easy to make money in the market? That is exactly what we're going to be breaking down, all right? So if you're joining in, we do this every day, right? For more information, you could go check out the link in the bio, right? So ladies and gentlemen, many of you are asking me questions, and I get it. Super grateful for those of you that are supporting. Many of you are asking actually the right questions. Some of you are finding it really advanced. So I'm trying to kind of get an intermediate sort of approach for all of you asking these questions. However, bear with me, we'll be having more of these discussions where we break down not just the trading, but the entire infrastructure. You know, my goal is to make people get acquainted with the financial markets, not just from a retail perspective, but generally understanding the flows and what causes loss, what causes profitability, what causes consistency over time. So if you're just joining in, welcome to subscribe and share with your friends. So we're going to start with this platform, right? Many of you are aware of this. You know, when I just started out, I used to ask myself, like, there are like some OGs that have been in this industry for close to even 50 years, right? Most of them have been institutional participants. And I always used to ask myself, like, what is happening? Like, why are many people able to last this long from, you know, they should be like a new strategy. It should be really something overwhelmingly hard to comprehend. And that is why I want to ask you something, right? How many times have you seen a screenshot, right? A big screen, numbers, you know, someone claiming they made $1,000, say, in 20 minutes, or rather they're trading off their phone on a beach somewhere on an island. And how many times have you thought, is that really actually real, or it's somebody just selling a dream? And that is what I want to ask, right? Today we're going to find out. We're going to find out not just in some kind of illusion, right, theory, right? Not with any sort of presentation. I just want to have a live, real talk, a real account, real market. And at the end of this stream, I really want you guys to answer this question, like have a honest opinion about this industry, right? Is it easy money? It looks easy, it's virtual, but is it easy? Or, you know, having the most convincing trap in the trading world right now. What traps so many retail newbies especially? And what keeps the intermediate going in a loop, a cycle, a never-ending cycle? Repeat, rinse, and repeat, you know? So let's get into it. If you're new, joining in, there's a commentary section. If you've ever tried to make quick money in trading or in the gaming industry, doesn't really matter where. Tell me how it went. Did you win big? Did you lose? I want to hear it. So drop it in the chat right now, and we're going to start. So look at this move, for example, right? We have a 4-hour Bitcoin move. Let's see, a daily. All right, let's take an example. All right, if we jump onto one of these time frames, right? Let's say, let us say a move like this, just a simple move. This was yesterday's pump, I guess. So we're looking at this. You entered here, right? And you got out here. You bought over here and you got out right there. So if you exited at the top, this top, that's about, let's see, that's about, we're looking at 3%, a 3% move, right? So if you have, say, $10,000 and, you know, 3%, you're looking at $300, right? Fine. It looks easy. You get in, you get out. So it is fast, right? On a decent position size, if you're over leveraging, that's like real money. So it is definitely fast money. I get it. So that's exactly what everyone thinks. You buy and you sell. I'll show you an example. Let's say we just jump on here. This is a gold trade, right? Without using any risk management. I get to a 3-second move, right? The price is going down and I'm saying I risk about, let's see, if I want a quick one, I will risk, say, 0.05%, which is the equivalent of $60. If I buy it right there, twice for 3 seconds, I lose 66, right? Now, to me, it might mean nothing for purposes of this live stream. But if I did it again and waited, see, I got it back, $121. So it seems like it's easy money. I get it. But there is something beyond that that I want to talk about, right? And you should not be overwhelmed by how this all works. All right, I'm not sure if I showed you that, sorry. Okay, it looks like I missed it. But what I was trying to say is, if I got in, say, with this chart, with a risk of 0.05%, right? And I bought it right there, and it closed with $121. It looks like real money. Now, what they don't show you is the 40 minutes before this candle, where the price did absolutely nothing, right? The choppy sideways, and we're looking at this entire move here. We're looking at sessions like London, New York, like what is really happening behind all this. So they don't really show you that. They don't show you the setups, the strategies, the testing, the patience, you know, looking at everything. So the point where most people either give up or enter the wrong direction is usually out of frustration. And then a move happens and then they get into this cycle of loss. So that is a real story of easy money, right? Especially in trading. The move is real. Like we all see this across all platforms. The move is real. The money is real. You can literally get out and withdraw this money. What it takes to actually catch this sort of consistency is where the trap leaves. So today I want to break this down, guys, into 3 parts. All right. The first part, I want to talk about the trap itself, how it looks like, and why smart people fall for it. The second is I want to talk about how to read the market properly before you even risk a single penny. You know, we'll use trading view. All right. Okay, let's see what's happening. Do we have some questions? Okay, no questions so far. Fair enough. I'm going to keep checking the live chat, so you guys want to jump in as well. So we'll use the trading view, right, just to show you an example. And of course, one of the brokers that I use, Pocket Options. Now, the third is I'm going to look at taking real life trades just like I've showed you. And we're going to see exactly how it plays out in real time. So guys, please write in the comments where you guys are joining in from, right? I want to see if you've been part of these traps. So let's look at the trap. Let's say, for instance, you open Forex Factory. I know everybody uses this, right? However, I don't really advise it, but let's assume that you open Forex Factory. Today's 5th, right? Quickly go to 5th and see what's happening. You know, every single trader says, I don't care what you're trading, right? What platform you're on. Those kinds of traders, they surely need this lab. Before you even open any session, you really need to understand where you are, right? Fundamentally. So you check the news calendar and you realize that, oops, we have ISM services PMI. And what does the typical trader do? They look for the forecast and then they read this. If it's high, it's good for the currency. And then they run back to that particular asset class. Let's say it's gold, right? Let's say it's gold, right? And they'll just do the opposite, right? They'll either buy if it's good or sell if it's bad. I get it. Now, these events right here that you see on the fundamental chart, especially the ones in red, right? These are the moments that the market stops being a market and it really starts to change. The coin starts to flip. For example, if we have central bank decisions, right? We've been breaking this down. Inflation data, we're looking, at NFP. We'll have NFP on Friday. NFP will be on Friday, right? These sorts of moves, central bank announcements and everything like that, right? We get it. There is some volatility, right? And they show you always these green trades, these people who are trading and showing you screenshots, right? What they don't show you is the account they blew up right before, or all the accounts that they've blown up, right? All the losses that they've shown, all the leveraging that they do, and all the open positions with no stop loss. And that is not how you should trade. Today's session, we are not just touching a little bit about before and after any of these events. What I want to show is, I want to show you the exact setup, right? And the mentality, the mindset behind getting into any position, right? Now, let's say we have high impact news events, right? You've identified a high impact news event fundamentally for that particular asset class, right? And you wait for it, right? What you understand is there is a time window when you need not to get into the market, right? Retail traders don't know a lot of these nuances. When to get in, how to get in, when to wait, what to wait for. So it's a combination of time, it's a combination of years of studying, information, right? All collectively processed in time, in real time, and then a decision made under pressure. Okay? So it's very boring, I get it. You start seeing setups that are choppy, right? You start seeing setups that you start imagining of setups, right? You might want to buy here and sell there, and you'll use any kind of indicator to justify that. So you end up getting stopped, you end up getting hurt, you end up getting burned, and because you lack the psychology, you will always risk and blow your account. If you don't have any system, like I talk a lot about this, I talk a lot about the simple journal that I keep sharing, right? You want to take advantage of all these things, journaling, using proper risk management, and all this is free for you. You want to make sure that before you get to any trade, you've done your work, you've done due diligence, and you understand exactly where you are. All right. Now, I want to look at the setup. Okay. Setups vary depending on what you're doing. If you're going short, if you're going long, no trade opens up until I've done certain things. So I'm not just drawing any levels like you can see, right? We do have some support. Let's say support, like price is literally trying to break on the 15-minute. We understand that, right? We see that there's been a battle here, and I'm not just drawing lines, or I'm not just getting all kinds of indicators like Fibonacci niches, all right? I usually talk about institutional participants because not many people are aware of these things. Like, what is the mechanics behind how the things you see run? When you just press that buy button, what is happening? All right. So it's very important that institutional order flow is understood. You see, the order flow from the institutional side, right, protects levels like this. And in Forex particularly, you cannot see that, right? I'm really curious to understand what is happening at these zones here. If you go to the minute, you want to see why does price reach here and then go back? What is stopping this? Why is this happening? It seems like a war, right? So you want to ask all these questions, not just using strategies and hoping the price will move in one direction. So if we jump onto the 5-minute chart, all right, usually you want to understand which time frame do you use to execute, right? You don't want a situation whereby you enter a trade that was meant for 3 seconds and you're stuck there for the whole day, right? You need to understand what time frame you execute on, right? I'm entering based on, say, 5-minute levels. That is it. If I go to a live execution here, with binary, for example, I'm looking at the 15-minute chart, but as well the 1 minute. You want to keep it a little bit micro, right? If you're depending on the time that you're using, if you're using 3 seconds, 5 seconds, all that should be considered. Now, I know many of you are just probably scalping during the day, right? I have rules for some of these strategies and they vary from instrument to instrument. You should have a template depending on the instrument you're using. So 3 rules before I touch any trade, okay? 1, I'm going to share this, right? 1 is price is at a key level. So I'm not just looking at the 5-minute, but I want to scroll out and see which levels are they. Are they psychological? Are they round numbers? All right. So I'm looking at this. Where is the closest significant level where there was some congestion? And I'll usually identify such zones. You know, zones like this on the higher time frames, right? You want to look at these zones here. These zones, right? Those sorts of zones. So I want to enter when price is either approaching to these zones or it's getting out from these zones. Now, I don't want to get in the middle of anywhere, especially if I am scalping, all right? If you're scalping and you're using like a lower time frame and an expiration, a lower expiration, that is good. Number 2 is there's a clear candle signal, all right? I'm not trading based off my feelings. Many of you are using your feelings. You think because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 candles going up, then I should probably think it's going to reverse, right? Or the opposite. It could break out there. So I'm not using feelings. I have a checklist, right? And if you join my community, you can be able to step by step use this checklist and execute. The third one is if I look at the fundamental side, right? Let's say you're using Forex Factory or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Like we break down how to crunch these numbers like the FOMC release, right? How we gravitate towards the tone and the lingo that is being used. So I want to ensure that getting into any position, I'm not affected by any fundamental news, right? So all these 3, I take it, right? And I simply execute. It's very boring, I get it, but you have to get used to this. You have to really get used to it. You should stop getting into positions because of your feelings. So looking at this chart, ladies and gentlemen, where do you think price is going to go? Do you think it's going to break this level, right? Because then I could quickly get in here. Do you think it's going to break this level? And if it breaks, how long do you think it's going to break for? Will it stop right here? You know, you want to ask all these questions. So in the chat room, please get in there and share your thoughts. Now, I'm going to execute some of these trades here, right? Before every trade, say there's a checklist. The 3 questions that I've asked, that I've shared with you, right? Before I enter, where is price going? Is it at a level? So that is the first question. Let's say we're looking at gold in this instance. Is it at any key level? So what you want to do is go to the daily. See, you go to the daily. We've already gone through that. And it's not at any key level. I don't think it's at any key level. At a 4-hour, we've already identified some levels. And you could presumably say that this level is worth looking at. This one, okay? Because we had some kind of rejection and price went there. Now we're not looking into the mathematics behind it and what is going on with order flow and where's the wall and where's the resistance, where's the imbalance and all that kind of stuff. So we are definitely saying price is trying to break through here, the 4 hour. 4 hour is very strong. So it is actually broken through. Has it closed over this level? So we want to ask the question. What does the candle tell me in this situation? Is it a signal? Is there any news coming up? So if the cost is clear, all of these 3 questions are answered, then you want to enter. Okay, now that price is right at this level, okay, price is at this level. I've drawn a couple of levels there. Let's see, is it a psychological level? Is it a round number? It's approaching 4, 5, 700, right? So what you want to do is you want to have your zone at 70 right there, and you want to have the closest one, which is at 60. Okay, so these two, you can actually change the colors here just to understand what's really going on, right? So red, we have our zone, probably could be one of the ranges that we want to ensure, right? We'll get to that. You could go check out my videos when we're breaking down the institutional side and how the interbank works and how the market makers are having these zones. It could be dynamic, it could be static, it doesn't really matter, right? So understanding the back end metrics and the mechanics of how this works will definitely give you an edge, right? So there's no trade worth sitting in any losing position. Let's say you've identified these 2 zones, right? It's a solid zone and you want to see what price does. The next level is probably right there, exactly right below this previous zone. So if it's clean, if the signal is worked, right, then you can get in. Now the setup, what you want to do is here, price is approaching this zone. Now depending on how you look at it, if we go to the 15 minute, after doing all that, you could say price will definitely be rejected right there. So what you want to do is have your line right there, right? And wait for the close. Wait and see how price will react at the 30 range, right? Does it come all the way down here? All right. So it looks like there's some kind of resistance here. Price has gone right above it, but it never closed. So basing on your risk management system, what you could do is calculate, all right? Calculate. You want to say that I'm going to use the, okay. What you want to say is I'm going to use the 3 second, right? And I'm going to use, say, 0.05%. Price has gone beyond my level. There's nothing like a fundamental news release. You are basing off the macros, the micros. You've done all the work that I teach across all my videos daily. And you want to say, I'm going to sell. Okay? There you go. 121. Now, if you noticed, the timing factor was right at 15:25. This is my time over here. And you want to go over to the time chart and see what is really happening. Which area are you on, right? It is 1:25 London. It is 8:25 New York. So you want to concentrate on New York and London because the exchanges mainly are there. And all the volatility and the momentum come out from these areas. If you're considering Asian session, then you want to look at Tokyo session, all right? So price continues to go. So you can keep doing that until you get your daily sort of daily goal, right? You see a new setup. You go back here, you look at a new setup. Price has definitely gone above that, right? Fresh eyes, you move to another, say, symbol, Australian US dollar. Look around, what is happening, and you know the cycle keeps going on and on. Okay? And at the end of the day, you start to realize that you can look back and sort of assess where you're coming from. I'm not saying do it like over and over. Right after you've done that, you want to go over here and record that. As simple as that. You want to record that you've done a gold trade, right? It was a long trade. a long trade. You want to enter the entry date. It was 5th, right? 5th. Right? You exit date. If it's a scalp, you can have that as well. Your stop loss. Now we're using, just for the sake of the stream, you really need to ensure that you are filling in everything. Because what this does, it programs your mind not to seek instant gratification, right? There's a system in place set up for all this. Your risk, right? What was your risk? And we always use the R factor. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. The risk R factor, we call that R, all right? And you want to look in terms of, say, percentages and peeps, the R factor in peeps, right? Per peep. And what was the result? Was it a win? Was it a break even? What gain was that? Let's say you reach 0.05%. You calculate that before the screenshot. You want to have your screenshot there done. Okay, you could use any of these softwares out there that are free. And then with time, you will calculate your strike rate, right? And all you need is 1 month. You don't need to do a lot. You could just do all the way till 1 month. Once that is locked in, you start to see some kind of progress, because we want to look back and assess ourselves. So what I'm trying to say in this video, ladies and gentlemen, you need a system. You should stop gambling and just buying and selling anywhere. There are so many factors to consider, right? Not just confirmations, not just technicals, the entire space. You need to reach a level where you can feel the market. You can feel the pulse. You understand the performance that is going on. You could go check out some of these research charts, right? You could go look at the correlations with, say, if you have the bonds, the 2-year bonds, what's happening with them, the government 10-year yields, right? Look around, like what's happening geopolitically. Is it affecting your instrument that you're trading? So you literally have to be passionate about this, and you have to keep researching, studying, and interacting and getting the feel of the economy. So, right? That is pretty much how you want to set your mind. We talk about a lot about some of these things, and it's really nice that many of you are joining in and you're asking the right questions. Okay, so after all this, you want to ask yourself, was it free money? Was it easy money? Right? Did it look easy? Did it take years of build up? Like, are you in a position to say it's free money? So the question is there any easy money in trading? The answer is no. There is never easy money. Anyone telling you otherwise is either lying to you or selling you something. Like, I kid you not, guys. And usually it's both. You see, the market does not care about your rent, about your girlfriend or your boyfriend, your goals, your story. I don't know where you came from. It's completely indifferent, right? The way it works is totally diverse. There's so many factors, not just supply and demand, not buyers and sellers. There's a lot going on. The algorithms, the institutions, the non-commercials and everything, the numbers that are ticking, which session is it, what is the order flow, which institutions are driving price, and then we start to break into the infrastructure, your brokerage company, your liquidity providers, the aggregators, and everything like that, right? So there are steps to this. By the time you press the buy or sell, that is totally in the hands of what I just mentioned. Okay? Now, you could ask yourself another question. Is there good money in this industry? Absolutely yes, right? It's consistent, repeatable, real money, right? So if you're treating this like a skill, like a business, Just like you're treating your businesses, right? You have a record book, you're checking your accounts every month, you are maintaining whatever you have, the machines and everything like that, then it will reward you, right? So it only rewards people who treat this with genuine intention. People who check the news, the calendar right before they open the chart, people who draw levels way before and they look for entries, people who are always on point, right? People who take, say, 3 trades and walk away instead of sitting there all day chasing losses. Gotta snap out of that, right? The trap is not some kind of platform or even broker like I just showed you guys. It's not. That is not the trap. The trap is yourself, what you're doing. The trap is the version of trading that social media is selling to you. You know, the one where you sit in your car or somewhere on a luxury yacht and you're just tapping your phone and then you're collecting money, right? It doesn't work like that. That version doesn't exist. What exists is discipline, the process, and consistency. You see, if you build those 3 things, day in, day out, you can show me your statement, your record, right? If you build that every other day, right? Then we can call that real money, right? So, instant gratification is not the way to go here. It's not free money. There's never been anything like free money. It has to take time. It's not overnight. It's not easy, but it's real. So I'm not here to intimidate you or scare you. I'm just saying, before you jump into this market, you got to think twice, right? And ladies and gentlemen, whenever you're coming into this industry, you always have to seek a nice community, a community that really, really cares for the process rather than the results, right? Because results will definitely come over time. Okay, if you're here in the chat and or later on looking at this, please feel free to join the community, subscribe, and of course, share this with your friends. That was today, right? It was a mixture of real trading, a quick cheat chart, real results, not just showing you the lovely screenshots. I'm here to deliver and let you know that it's not easy, but it's possible. All right. All right, guys. If this is the kind of content you actually want, please subscribe. We do this every day. I do live streams across all social medias. You want to go check them out, right? We talk about different themes. I understood that it was a little bit advanced, but now we're getting back to basics, right? We want to slowly and gradually integrate all kinds of people, all kinds of communities. Doesn't matter if you're in a developed economy or a developing economy, we'll also consider that. So check it out, all right? And you could write in the comments what you would like me to talk about next time. So I'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Cheers.